hate Shakespeare.
Okay, first off, I'd just like to say this is somehow Shakespeare's shortest tragedy. How? So this is going to be a whistle-stop tour of the Scottish play, and I'll say it in hopes it kills me. Macbeth. Act 1. The big scary witches appear briefly. Macbeth is given lots of compliments by the king, and is going to become a thane. Again. Nice. Although, at 35 lines in, there's already a body count. R.I.P. MacDonald, Macbeth gets your title. And the witches are back with prophecies to boost Macbeth's ego a little. Keyword, equivocation. Equivocation is the use of ambiguous language to conceal the truth or avoid committing oneself. Him and Banquo, who are BFFs for life, obviously, don't pay much attention at first until Ross shows up and is like, Hail Cawdor, lol. Duncan's son is then made king-to-be, and Macbeth is like, hey, that's my title. He's not very happy, and then, like a completely sane individual, considers regicide, the murder of the king, which really doesn't make sense, because, I mean, if you were prophesied to be the king, you'd be the king, wouldn't you? So then my girl Lady Macbeth comes in, and just a warning, I'm very Lady Macbeth sympathetic, if that makes sense. And she's just, like, honestly, just take my milk and then, like, kill him? No, I do it. It's just, he looks like my dad, so. So Duncan comes in, and Act 2 gets murdered, but I guess that's an average Tuesday, body count 2. Lady Macbeth is annoyed because her boo won't take the bloody daggers back to the corpse of their beloved King Duncan, so she has to go and get traumatised, SMH. The porters are up and at him, if you will. Macduff's pretty horrified at the king's corpse while mad lad Mackie B murders Duncan's guards. Body count 4. So Macbeth is made king at Scone, and Macduff doesn't go because he doesn't want to pledge allegiance because he's getting suspicious. And Macbeth is actually made king because Duncan's sons are cowards. Act 3. Banquo gets suspicious of Macbeth, so he stops wearing his friendship bracelet, and Macbeth reacts with a murder. Joy. Lady Macbeth just isn't told about this and gets very worried, but Macbeth still refuses to tell her what he's planning, like the terrible husband he is. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't a bad husband in the beginning, he was, like, quite nice to her, but with murder comes great responsibility. So Banquo is murdered by the murderers who get murdered after his murder, body count 8, but Fleance, you know, the most integral part of the plan, Banquo's son, the one who is actually destined to have bloodline kings, escapes, so well done to those murderers, I guess. But they did get murdered, so. At the banquet, because there's a banquet, Macbeth is haunted by the corpse of his best friend, startling his wife and guests. What a way to ruin a dinner party. Side note, I would love to see that one come down with me. The goddess of witchiness, Hecate, is there for a second, but more pressing matters are at hand. So lords discuss things, and Malcolm is feeling sorry for himself in ye olde Angleterre, and Eddie the Confessor, England's king, is rising an army to fight against our little tyrant, Macbeth. Act 4. The witches meet, and Hecate's back, though she doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. They don't answer Macbeth's questions and give him more vague prophecies. Lady Macduff, wife of the Thane of Fife, and I love saying that, is sad that her husband ran away and calls him a traitor. What a burn.
What you, egg?
All the household is murdered, body count more than 10, but we'll call it 10. Macduff chills in England for a bit until he's told that everyone he ever loved is dead. He shows emotion, which is kind of not allowed in those times, because it would be like weak or something. Act 5. Lady Macbeth has a nightmare and people start realising, oh my god, they actually murdered the king. Whoops. The invading army marches towards Dunsinane, Macbeth is panicky, and all his thanes have run for the hills. Mackie talks to the doctor about his wife, and then heads into battle, while spitting some mad bars, like those rhyming couplets are lit. But I mean, you wouldn't think to maybe stay with your sick wife, you know? Like, so much for dearest partner of greatness. He's very dismissive of the doctor after he says he can't heal her, but I mean, he treats Lady Macbeth as an afterthought, and it upsets me. Malcolm's soldiers arrive in a Birnam Wood cosplay. People fight, and Lady Macbeth yeets herself off the balcony, supposedly, making Year 11s across the country more jealous than they were of Eva Smith.
Thanks, AQA.
Macbeth is bereaved, and life is pain, and nothing will ever be okay again for a split second, so, yeah, I guess he really loved her. Malcolm's army reaches the castle like some morbid game of Capture the Flag, and Macbeth is sitting there like, okay, who wasn't born of woman? I won't be angry, I just might murder you. Macbeth kills young Seward because he is really that awful of a human being. Body count more than 11. I think it's important that young Seward was stabbed in the front, but I don't know why. Eventually, Macduff exacts his revenge, and balance is restored or something after a long, hard battle. The moral of the story is, don't murder your boss, or your boss's son's friend will murder you. Also, don't listen to the creepy old woman you found on the side of the street. And maybe care about your wife when she's sick, that might be nice.